With Lionhearted coming out on the 26th of this month, I thought I'd do a trailer analysis. So, without further ado, let's begin. First off, we gotta start with the title screen. The word Lionhearted is emblazoned on the screen with an individual appearing to face away from the camera. The individual appears to be Micah Delgado, and if you look in the background, there are some trees that are very characteristic of the start of the Hayward High School course. Liberty went there twice this season, for the Farmer Invitational and for the North Coast section meet. But as Mike is wearing the boys' varsity jersey, this picture is clearly from NCS, the season finale. Well, there's a lot to take in the first sequence. It starts off with an announcer saying, "On your mark." Most likely that was an announcer from the Monta Vista meet, not only because it was the first meet for most of the athletes, but it's also symbolic of the start of a great beginning. The trailer also shows a roughly chronological order, with the Monta Vista and Deer Valley Dual meet being the first two meets present. Now, this next sequence is used to transition the speed of the background sound into a slightly more faster pace. Maybe it represents how, as the season progressed, the runners became faster. And of course, this is at Tahoe during the 400 workouts, roughly the midpoint of the season. Oh wait, did you catch that? If you look into the bottom left corner, you can see Keen give an epic gamer dab. Feed him the beans. Now, in this section, there are multiple scenes of people running and Riley Ginn showing off his orange justice. This trailer is pretty light in terms of dialogue, with there only being 3 lines, but one of them is shown here, where it says, "Let's feed him the beans," a line commonly used by Max Ortega. It overlaps the final boys' pre-race huddle of the season before they headed into the NCS race, where Coach Tyler and Lizelle gave their final words of advice.
Our boys that we going to stay.
Yeah! If you couldn't already tell, this is a documentary about running, so of course most of the scenes are going to be running. The constant use of the same background music and its slightly changing tone reflects how throughout the season the athletes changed over time. The final line of dialogue is also given by Austin Kephart saying, "Where are our boys at? We going to state," referencing the boys' goal to qualify to the state cross-country championship. The inclusion of a sunset and in the following seconds, a sunrise, could be taken as a metaphor for how the end of one day means that you'll be able to run another day. Oh, and if you look closely, you'll be able to find Waldo. Now this in and of itself deserves a separate analysis video, because there's so much detail and content in here that I can go on and on about it. It is amazing. But in sum, this is what peak human push-ups look like. There's a lot to rave about in this section. First off, the focus has shifted to the end of the season, mainly prioritizing scenes from the Tahoe trip, the Heritage Dual Meet, Apache, and B-Vals. It shows how far everyone has come, how much progression has been made, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And as evident by the scene from Pacific Tigers, scenes, they highlight the companionship and camaraderie the team built up throughout the season. Cross country isn't just about the times and places, but it's also about the people. Finally, it ends off by showing the boys' goal throughout the season, to make it to state. Trailer ends off by showing what looks to be a sunrise behind Mount Diablo, and the words Liberty Lions Cross Country rises up on the screen. And then it fades to black. Well, that's my analysis of the trailer. If there's anything I missed or any more things I could have talked about, leave a comment down below and subscribe.